At 4:15 every morning, before the sun stretches across the skies of Enugu, before market women arrange their tomatoes, before school children tie their shoelaces, a man wakes up. His name is Mr. Ebuka. He does not wear a suit. He does not carry a briefcase. He carries a helmet, and he rides an Okada. To most people, he is invisible. Just another motorcycle rider navigating potholes and traffic, inhaling exhaust fumes, bargaining over small fares. But to one 15-year-old girl, he is a hero. Her name is Destiny, and this is the story of a promise made in poverty, a promise protected by sacrifice, a promise that refused to break. Years earlier, rain poured through the broken roof of their one-room apartment. Buckets were scattered across the floor. Water dripped steadily from the ceiling. Mrs. Nkiru tried to drag the mattress away from the leak. Destiny sat under a dim lantern, her notebook slightly damp, her handwriting steady despite the drops hitting the floor beside her. She looked up at her father and asked softly, "Daddy, can someone like me become a professor?" Mr. Ebuka froze. He remembered dropping out of school after losing his own father. He remembered hawking sachet water instead of finishing secondary school. He remembered watching other boys wear uniforms while he counted coins. He swallowed the pain of memory and leaned toward his daughter. "Destiny, you will not just go to university?" He paused. "You will lead one." Mrs. Nkiru stared at him in disbelief. University? They barely afforded Gary, but something sacred had just been spoken, and some promises are heavier than poverty. From that night, everything changed. Mr. Ebuka began waking at 4 in the morning. He rode longer distances. He skipped lunch. He saved every naira he could. When other riders rested in the shade complaining about fuel prices, he kept moving. When they laughed at him and said, "Ebuka, you think your daughter will become governor?" he smiled calmly and replied, "She will not ride Okada." Mrs. Nkiru supported in silence. She sold akara outside a primary school. Sometimes she pretended she had already eaten so Destiny could take the last portion of food. Destiny never knew, because Nigerian parents bleed quietly. One afternoon, police stopped Mr. Ebuka. "Where is your reflective jacket?" "It tore," he replied respectfully. "Then pay 5,000. That 5,000 naira was food for 2 days. He paid without arguing, because Destiny had an exam the next morning, and stress must never reach her. When Destiny turned 15, her school nominated her for a national academic competition in Abuja. The winner would receive a full scholarship. Transportation and accommodation were not covered. It felt impossible. But Mrs. Nkiru said softly, "This is God opening a door." Mr. Ebuka worked day and night for 2 weeks. He barely slept. He developed a cough from constant exhaust fumes. Still, he raised the money. Destiny traveled with borrowed clothes and quiet determination. She competed against students from elite private schools who had laptops and private tutors. She had hunger. When the results were announced, she came first. Full scholarship. The call came late at night. Mrs. Nkiru screamed in disbelief. Mr. Ebuka dropped to his knees. For the first time in years, he cried openly. Life did not suddenly become easy. Scholarship covered tuition, not everything else. There were still books to buy, transportation to pay, and daily survival to manage. Then one rainy season changed everything. A speeding bus, a slippery road, a violent crash. Mr. Ebuka's Okada lay twisted on the roadside. His leg was badly fractured. Hospital bills mounted quickly. Destiny rushed home from school. Sitting beside his hospital bed, she whispered, "Daddy, let me stop school. It's my turn." His voice was weak but steady. "If you quit, you break the promise." Tears rolled down her face. He squeezed her hand. "I would rather crawl than see you stop." Something unexpected happened next. The same riders who once teased him organized contributions. Market women donated small amounts. A local pastor raised funds. Even a lecturer sent help anonymously. The community that watched him struggle now carried him. Dignity had returned with interest. Destiny returned to university with fire in her heart. Some classmates mocked her background. "Your father rides Okada?" They laughed. She didn't argue. She studied harder. She debated fiercely. She researched educational inequality in rural communities. One lecturer told her, "You think like a policymaker." That sentence shaped her future. After graduation with first-class honors, she received an offer to study abroad. It was a partial scholarship. The remaining balance was overwhelming. Fear entered their home again. Mrs. Nkiru whispered, "What if it's too far?" Mr. Ebuka responded quietly, "If her dream scares us, it is big enough." They sold the Okada, the very machine that fed them for years. Mr. Ebuka took a job as a night security guard instead. Lower income, longer hours, less pride. But the promise remained alive. Abroad, Destiny struggled with loneliness and cold nights. There were moments she cried silently in her hostel room, but she remembered her father limping to work. She remembered her mother hiding headaches behind smiles. She completed her master's degree with distinction and continued to earn a PhD focused on educational reform for children of informal workers. Children like her. When she returned to Nigeria, she did not seek comfort. She launched a foundation called Promise Initiative, providing scholarships to children of Okada riders, market women, and street vendors. Within 3 years, over 3,000 students received support. Media houses began inviting her for interviews, and every interview ended the same way. This started with my father. Then came the announcement of a new federal university. Applications were open for leadership positions. She applied. Panels questioned her age, but her vision was clear. Education must reach the streets, not just the elite. Months later, a letter arrived. She had been appointed Chancellor, youngest in the institution's history. On Inauguration Day, the hall was filled with officials and cameras. In the front row sat Mr. Ebuka, wearing his best traditional outfit. His hands were still rough, his posture still humble. He thought she was just giving a speech. Then the announcer called her name as the new Chancellor. He froze. Destiny stepped to the podium and looked directly at him. "My father once promised I would lead a university." The hall fell silent. Cameras zoomed in as tears streamed down his face. She reached into her bag and pulled out something small, an old motorcycle key, the key to the Okada they once sold. "This key opened my future," she said. She walked down from the stage, knelt before her father, and placed the key in his hand. The Chancellor kneeling before an Okada rider. That image traveled across the nation. Mr. Ebuka never returned to riding. Destiny ensured he retired with dignity. Mrs. Nkiru's health improved. Their one-room apartment became a modest family home. But something more important changed. Hope. Parents across Nigeria began believing again. Believing sacrifice matters. Believing poverty is not permanent. Believing promises can rewrite history. Some men leave land. Some leave wealth. Mr. Ebuka left belief, and belief built a university. From Okada rider to the father of a chancellor. Not because life was easy, but because he refused to break a promise. And sometimes that is how nations change.